College basketball history has been written. Our starting lineups are powered by Ram trucks. Nothing stops Ram. And for Indiana, it's really been hard to stop Lamar Wilkerson all season long. Ahead here tonight.
No doubt about it. And Dana Altman gave Darren DeVries his first coaching job as a GA in Omaha.
Simpkins over to Biddle. Simpkins on the drive, lost his footing, and a travel that'll turn it over to Indiana.
Man-to-man.
Here's Wilkerson weaving through traffic and a foul. Looked like Drew Carter as Wilkerson came through. Just changes everything. Coach Altman always talks about this end of the floor with Biddle. He's a really good defensive player and defensive rebounder. Here's Nick Dorn, was battling illness
from the three-point line over the course of the last month. Almost 10 threes a game have gotten up from Mr. Dorn.
Here's Biddle. He'll try the three.
That's on. He really tabbed Dorn as the guy that can change Indiana's season, that when he plays well, Indiana goes to a different level.
Well, it's one of the reasons he put him in that starting lineup a lot. First foul on DeVries and Biddle at the stripe. As you said, he lived at the charity stripe against Purdue.
He also gives you an opportunity to get easy baskets at the rim and at the line.
Offensive rebound for Sean Stewart. That's his strength. And Carter with the triple for Oregon at a 4-0 lead for the Ducks.
Regardless of the defense, when you're dealing with how this Indiana team is built.
Off the shot fake, Simpkins to the rim, everything but the two, and a rebound ends up with.
It's really how this team is built.
Carter around the screen, the pull-up jumper, high arcing two for Drew. Sam Alexis, he was terrific on Saturday against Wisconsin, going back to work, and that hook spins home. When we talk about, let's change that shot. And right, again, looking to push and kick. Wilkerson, the lob to Alexis.
And that's what Alexis brings.
And we welcome those who just watched the end of Xavier St. John's. I'm Kevin Kugler, my partner Nick Baugh, Oregon and Indiana. Just
again, and it's been a challenge figuring out between Carter and Lynn who can settle in at that. I thought Lynn actually played pretty well in the second half at Purdue. He's a much better shot.
Rick Lindsay on the bounce underneath. How about Sean Stewart? Elevates with the started up the floor for IU. Wilkerson 0 for 2 to start this one. Deep three from DeVries. He'll hit.
That guy scored 2,000 points in his career. He knows what to do with it.
Lynn on the run. A little strong, but he got the.
There is tons of connections between these two coaches, and certainly between Tucker DeVries and Dana Altman.
Alexis, count it, and the foul. Beautiful for a chance at the three-point play. A little bit strong, and that rebound ends up with Lindsay.
A scorer's mindset. He's still settling into the American game.
Stewart inside. Nice baby hook there for the former Ohio State.
About in just a one-day prep.
Yeah, that was his biggest concern, was the short prep that they had after the Wisconsin game Saturday. And right, inside.
He said, regardless, run your man-to-man offense.
Here's Wilkerson, deep triple, dives on the back iron, rebound scooped up by just. Tough pass, Enright went down to get it and turned it into three. Lindsay, free throw line jumper, contested late by DeVries, and it's out of bounds. It'll be in.
He has become.
That pass deflected away. Indiana doing everything to give it away. It ends up with Wilkerson in the three. Karem's off, and a foul's called. He goes, I went to my steps. Is that the kid who was shushing us at the arena a little while ago? Shot clock winding down, and that's a shot clock violation.
Darren DeVries that stood out immediately with Darren DeVries.
Here's Lindsay, 10 to shoot. Leaning in, and a foul. And Des
control tempo, and you got to keep your opponent out of rhythm, and that's exactly what has happened
tonight. Lindsay to the line. You hear the roaring. Free fries have been scuttled.
And a dime.
And then a turnover. Extra pass, and it coughed it up. On the other end, to the rim, all the way around the world. Sean Donald's All-American. 5-star recruit. got caught behind Kyle Filipowski his 1 year at Duke as Lynn drops in that.
Not a lot of movement, ball or body from Indiana, and a contested three.
Lynn, free throw line jumper. It ends up with Alexis.
It's a wise decision. That's not really Alexis's game, but
That's his game.
It is Lamar Wilkerson's game.
10 in America.
Yeah, that's. And every team that's won the crown started 20-0 the following season.
Yes, yes, it's pretty remarkable.
It is.
As Lamar Wilkerson will go to the line after the 7th Oregon team foul hits that front end.
You would assume they got
Coming him back. Biddle with a big grin on his face.
He loves it on this Indiana roster. Just smart. Has good instincts.
Oh, what a cut. And Wilkerson with the finish. Patience by Alexis.
Nice basket cut. Yeah, sometimes that can happen when you're trying to identify the defense. You just stand.
How about Kapzisti? Luke Johnson out there, just his 8th game of the year for Oregon as DeVries hits the runner. About a month for Oregon. And you saw it in the results for the Ducks. Without Nate Biddle, you had track. And the rebound by... And it's been so evident this year that guy who knows his system from 2 years at Drake. What a huge lift, and I'm not sure that was touted enough.
All of 2 seconds for Darren DeVries when he got this job to say, I got to go get Connor Enright.
That's a goaltend. Sam Alexis caught that one on the way down.
7-footer.
Wilkerson on the attack to the rim for 2.
Yeah, that's what you got to do, Kevin, against the three-quarter court.
10 to shoot. Not much happening on this possession yet for Oregon. Lynn will try to change that with the 3, and he swished. And right, Alexis, the leaner, dies on the back iron.
Great touch from Sam Alexis. And now,
coming up on 2 minutes remaining in this opening half. It's DeVries with the running hook, rebounded by ups.
Open threes. You wonder just how much his timing is there.
Boy, timing was there between DeVries and Simpkins around the Biddle screen. Elbow jumper is good for Takai Simpkins. An 0 for 4 starter. How many times do you think as a child Tucker DeVries was in a gym and watched that play practice?
I remember Tucker when he was a 4- and 5-year-old and tying his shoe at Creighton basketball camp. It's just amazing.
Remember, a foul to give if they want to offer it. Lynn's going to hustle it up. The 3 up and off. Halftime arrives. Indiana by 6. Here's Alexis to start things off for Indiana. Enright drops it right back to Alexis, who took it right at Biddle for 2 more.
Just a great. So that's where that help has to come. It can't because you don't want to leave Tucker DeVries.
That's the challenge when you play this Indiana team. And look at that cut.
Finers, great things happen offensively.
Hesitation, then getting underneath. DeVries with the block, but a foul.
And the free throw line.
Concerned about, with that short prep for Oregon, how they were going to handle this matchup zone. Wilkerson will hit the 3 over it. Rebound by Kwame Evans. Simpkins trying to get some space. Carter, jumper, good mid-range from Carter. Got into that early foul trouble after the...
Very consistently all season.
He had hit 8 field goals all year. He's at 3 tonight. DeVries with a triple. And how much of that...
Indiana has been razor sharp here in this second half.
Biddle almost at his pocket pick. Instead drops it off. And Indiana has had whatever they wanted. Wilkerson turns the corner, gets 2 more. Indiana making it look easy. Continue for Biddle, 1 for 8 from the floor. Enright, we've seen it happen so often. He pushes, that defense gets all out of sorts, and they end up with sharing his carry.
But it's not just one guy that gets all the assists either. Certainly Enright can lead the charge there. Tucker DeVries has improved as a passer.
They've got a whistle, a crisp play. Wilkerson, the drop off to Alexis. Banging his way in against Biddle. And Indiana is 7 for 7 to start this second half.
Which was going to be important. You allowed Oregon to hang around. All of a sudden, game pressure really becomes a problem.
And Simpkins is fouled. He's going to go to the... It will be installed in Assembly Hall on the south side. Really cool recognition.
Inside Assembly Hall with the announcement of the Bob Knight statue. You can't tell the tale of Indiana basketball. DeVries was talking about in the huddle. Not to plant negative seeds, but hey, listen, been in this spot before and haven't finished.
Count that bucket and a foul on Alexis. It is essentially the start of continuation. And Biddle cannot convert. 5th rebound for Wilkerson to go with his 21 points. Wide open three. You know what he's going to do.
Right's initial push. It flattens out the defense, and that's when those trailer threes are really dangerous.
Biddle with the answer. Nate Biddle. Simpkins on the drive. Off the window. Good attack.
So a quick trigger timeout there from Darren DeVries.
Wilkerson, a pretty good run stopper with his offense. Tough contested jumper, and he makes it look so
supremely confident no matter what. It doesn't matter if he's made or missed his last shot. His mentality's the same.
And there's Stewart hanging on rims again.
But once again, Biddle.
Oregon a little bit better with Biddle.
Just a little.
10-point game on the drive. Wilkerson, Biddle with the swap.
Can certainly see over the defense when a double comes like that.
Lamar in this league, averaging 20.4 points per game on the season, over 23 points per game in conference play. On DeVries a moment ago, his 3rd. And the free throw good. Already 7. Stewart, 2 for 2 at the line. Wisconsin win 0 for 4 tonight. Here he is, got an open look, not afraid to shoot it, and he'll go to the free throw line for 3 free throws themselves coming out. Big Ten well represented in these brackets.
And the committee is seeing and can give you a feel for how they're valuing teams at the top of.
Playing a short-handed Kansas tonight might impact whether Arizona's a #1 seed. Lynn with the 3, and Oregon back to within 10.
Rises up and knocks it down.
Here's Dorn looking for that 3. There, he found it. How often do you see it?
Another good half-court execution sequence, too.
Here's Lynn with the answer. Wow. How about Waylon with 15?
He can score. We've talked really well here tonight.
They've needed some production from that position. Enright in the corner. Josiah Miles can't get that one to 10 to shoot now for Dorn. Good to work against Kopzisti, and a foul.
Supposed to fall, and now that three-pointer feels a little bit more comfy.
It's been interesting. They have a translator who speaks Mandarin to help with those at practice, but that translator has not traveled on the road. Nate Biddle. Look at him just attacking. He'll go to work again. 14 to shoot. He'll rise up. That 3 will drop. Evans playing with 4 fouls, spinning inside against Trent Sisley. And it's out of bounds, tapped out.
A hero.
Yep.
And a household name.
Rise, fire, 2, Wilkerson, 30. Enright on the push. Where's 3? There he is. Up. Fouled. Almost a 4-point play. He'll have... Our stats department confirms 11 for 12 is good.
Pretty good.
Inside, Bailey. Through the double. Count the bucket and the foul off the timeout. Here's Wilkerson. Wilkerson gets free of Carter. Got a screen. Gets the triple. Wilkerson. 6 away from tying the Assembly Hall scoring record. Evans on the drive. Attacks for 2.
Boy, was that strong.
Here's Enright. The dish. Dorn steps right. Another one falls. Biddle. That three won't go. Rebound Evans. And Evans puts it back for two. And they do. Biddle with the strip. Took it away from Bailey. Simpkins looking to push. Driving into Enright and a blocking foul on Enright. One more for Simpkins as Altman, and the knowledge that this has been a rough year for Coach Altman and for the Oregon Ducks.
Yeah, and
Turning the corner. Wilkerson. Hunting, one to shoot, gonna have to launch. Contested jumper, of course it falls. Of course it falls. It's Penn State. Is he gonna break that record again? In the same season? Not on that play. Sam Alexis with a two-hand flush.
college basketball.
Biddle. In trouble, finds Carter. In the corner, that three will fall. Really nice night for Drew Carter. A standing ovation for the work and the hustle. Wilkerson. Oh my! Shimmy shake! And a foul is called.
He's also 7 of 8 from 2.
41 for the Big Ten Player of the Week. We'll just send him the honor once more. 1 for 2. 40. 2.5 to go. Evans. That hook rattles home for Kwame Evans. 6 again. DeVries. He'll go to work against Stewart. Got his man in the air. Count that bucket and the foul. Tucker to have multiple 40-point games in a single season. 41. Dana Altman's going to wish he'd have headed to the shower about 35 minutes ago. As Biddle.
The one thing that's been a constant is Oregon has won under Dana Altman, and just fall. There's going to be no quit with him, and he's going to continue to compete and fight.
Connerway against Lynn. That's a foul. And Connor. So a couple of real big opportunities coming up on the road for an Indiana team that's going to be
Big Ten Conference is you are afforded opportunities to bolster up that NCAA tournament resume.
Miles will just let this clock run down. Josiah Miles had some good minutes against Wisconsin on Saturday. He'll drive into that defense and he'll earn a triple.
Feels like they're starting to get a little wind behind their sails here as a collective.
And entering into the game on Dana Altman's staff with Darren DeVries. Coach Grensing is here tonight. We had a chance to chat with Darren DeVries. He's got ties all over the place, yes, including from a player in Trice Grensing. Restitch will dribble this one out. And Darren DeVries and Dana Altman will meet at half court. Competitors and friends at home this season. Nick Baugh, the second half as impressive as you can get, shooting 82% from the floor in the second half at a 92-74. Lamar Wilkerson with 41 points to lead the way for IU.